Hello YouTube, welcome to this video, and it's RJ's guide to southern Belgium and Luxembourg. Back in June I went by Eurostar and local train down to Honestles and met up with my good friend Johan, otherwise called CHURCHILL CIGAR. Thank you so much for inviting me. It's the third time I've visited Honestles. First time was for the day from Bruges in October 2 years ago. Last time was last year in November, and of course back in June, and the weather was gorgeous. A little bit too hot, and Johan's car doesn't have aircon except the windows being open. Thank you so much for looking after me, the hospitality, for doing all the driving, and I'd like to thank your parents for their hospitality, making me feel so welcome in your home and their home, and for Chestnut, their dog, for putting up with my bad French. We did loads. A lot more driving this time. Last year we just went to Bouillon and the caves and the Ardennes Valley. This year we did three major things, and I'll show you something else as well. First up, the Tobacco Museum Somers in Colwyn. Second, which is near Bouillon. Second up's Bouillon Castle. Third up, we went to Luxembourg and saw the Museum de Battle des Ardennes in Clairvaux. And fourth up is where my hotel was in Wellin. In between each section of talking, I'll be showing some video. Thank you so much again for inviting me, for showing me, for looking after me, and check out Johan's channel down below. Okay, Tobacco Museum Somers in Colwyn. I could not do this justice. It is a working tobacco farm, family run. Round the museum is tobacco fields. They sow the tobacco seeds, hand pick them, and by hand produce their tobacco. There's lots of memorabilia in the museum also, and unfortunately the owner said you can take general photos, but please don't do any close-ups and publish them online. So if you want to watch the full film of this place, and it is one of the best museums I've ever been to, you've got to email me, rjthesmoker@yahoo.co.uk, in the description, and I'll send you the link to the private video. What follows is 1 minute and 20 seconds of this museum. As I said, this is a short version. If you want the long version, email me. I respect the owner's wishes. And if you're near Bouillon in southern Belgium, this place is 8 kilometres from it, 5 miles, in the valley. It is absolutely awesome. The smells as you go in of the tobacco, the history, your senses are on overdrive. Go and visit this place. The Tobacco Museum Somers in Colwyn. I'll be back in 1.5 minutes. Enjoy. Okay guys, I hope you enjoyed the Tobacco Museum. Next up, Bouillon Castle. Bouillon is one of the most attractive towns in Belgium. It's set in a valley on a river surrounded by hills. And about 500 feet up, or about 150 metres, is Bouillon Castle. When it was built, it kept the town safe and wasn't invaded for 1,000 years. Last year, Johan and I just visited the town and went up to the castle for the view, but I didn't go into it. There's an excellent pizza restaurant in the town also, where we both went both years. The castle has quite a lot of steps, and I did a lot of steps. I survived. He did even more than me, but I managed it without a wheelchair, and it was so impressive. The history interesting. It was a really cool, awesome place, and still is. What follows is about a minute's worth of clips of Bouillon Castle, and we'll be back with the next lot of talking in a minute's time. Enjoy. Okay, guys. The other place we went to is in Luxembourg. It was about an hour and a quarter, hour and a half drive from him to the south, and it's the Museum de Bâtiment des Arts in Clervaux. Thank you so much for taking me there. The museum, as you'll see, is set in the town of Clervaux, and it was home of a lot of memorabilia, some tobacco, some military, a few tanks and other vehicles, and a story about the German occupation from 1939 until they got liberated in 1944 or 45 by the Allies. It was mega interesting. The Germans invaded and starved a lot of countries. You think instantly of Belgium, France, Holland, for instance. But sometimes you forget about the smaller ones, such as Luxembourg, that suffered a similar fate until the liberation came. It's their story, them saying thank you to the Allies, and thank you, Johan, for taking me there. After the pictures of the museum, you're going to see a cigarette machine. Cigarette machines are still allowed in Luxembourg. On the way back, we stopped at this amazing supermarket. It sells loads of cheap or reasonably priced spirits, wines, and of course cigarettes. So Luxembourg has one of the lowest prices in Europe for those products. There's also an excellent tobacconist in town also, and we had an amazing day. Enjoy the next 3 minutes of the Museum de Bâtiment des Arts in Clervaux. Okay guys, for 2 nights of my stay, I was staying in his village on Celeste, in the B&B, which is bed and breakfast, where I stayed last year. Because of a last minute change of plan, I was rushed to hospital for an operation. The original dates were we had to cancel, and he couldn't get me in there for the 4 nights. The other 2 nights I stayed just down the road, about 10 minutes drive, in a place called Wellin. What follows is pictures of Wellin and of course my hotel. That is called the Wellin. Yep, the pun. I had a great stay there, and this is just 30 seconds, and I'll be back with the afterword. Enjoy. Okay guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Give it a thumbs up. Go down below and check out Johan's channel, CHURCHILL. I had an amazing time in on Celeste. I hope you enjoyed the Tobacco Museum seminars in Colwyn. Email me rjthesmoker@yahoo.co.uk for the full video. Also went, as you know, to Bouillon. Thoroughly recommend that place, as pretty historic town with an interesting castle. Luxembourg, go and see the Museum de Bâtels des Ardennes in Clairvaux. Go shopping as well, reasonably priced cigarettes, tobacco and wines and spirits. There were so much interesting things each day we did. We enjoyed each other's company, and we also made 3 videos. We wanted to make more, but time didn't allow it. And in one of the biggest mistakes of my life, I lost copy video number 1. It's on his channel though, and I really enjoyed watching that one, along with the other 2, which we made together, which is on both our channels. You're welcome in London anytime, and I'll show you our sites. Thank you for inviting me back to on Celeste. I'm so looking forward to it. I'd like to thank my mum for taking me as far as Brussels, where I changed trains, and she put myself and my luggage on the local train down to on Celeste. Time wise, 1 hour 45 minutes to Brussels from London. It takes 2 hours to get from Brussels, because the train stops everywhere, down to on a place near his hometown on Celeste. And that's not even to the Luxembourg border. To drive it, for instance, takes an hour on a Sunday without traffic. I'd like to thank his parents for driving me home on 2 nights, and to his dad for taking me back on Sunday to Brussels and get me to the Eurostar check-in. I thoroughly recommend southern Belgium, and I desperately want to get back, health permitting, next year. Give this video a thumbs up. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll be back in a couple of days with another video. Stay lit, guys.